Hello and welcome to another VOD review. We have voted as a democracy on my Twitch channel, and we've decided that the New York Excelsior are going to take on the Dallas Fuel, and that's the match we're going to watch. This is one that I'm interested in. You know, I made my Dallas Fuel apology recently. They look very good in this meta. I like what we've seen from them. There's been a couple of different looks from this team, though. They've had a little bit of Sparkle coming into play the Genji in their second match, but Doha played it in their first match, so they don't seem sold on that position. But otherwise, Edison on the Sojourn and on the hit scan has been playing very well. Hanbin's one of the greatest tanks of all time and proves that once again on the Junker Queen. And Fielder and Chio doing their job. On the other hand, though, New York Excelsior, a team that we were ranking last in the West coming into this meta, has sort of started to get their shit together. They dropped Myunbong, I think someone who has struggled on the flex support so far this year and as of late. And they actually signed a main support. Who would have thought that would help your team immensely? Unsun Jae was signed here for the New York Excelsior. Gangnam Jin can move back over to that secondary support role on the flex. He is playing Brig now, though. The backline looks much stronger. Kellen's been proving and making a point on the Junker Queen, and Yaki and Flora just doing Yaki and Flora things. Seems like they might still struggle with a little bit of inconsistency, but only time will really tell. They had a pretty good weekend. They've climbed up the power rankings. I think we put them 5th on Plat Chat or something like that. Very high right now, but let's jump into it. Obviously, the meta is Junker Queen. We've already talked about this. We've already talked about this before in the last VOD review, so keep an eye out for all the Junker Queens, but not much variation is here. We might see more Ashe than Sojourn in this matchup, but...
Round 1, capture the objective.
1 second. Is chat up? No, chat's not up. Where's chat? Hanbin, no. 1 second, let me find chat real quick. Chat box, there it is. There you go. Now you guys can see chat. Let's jump back into this. Alright, so we got, this is actually an interesting look that we've seen from Dallas Fuel that other teams have been playing. Primarily Dallas and London have been playing a little bit of May on close quarters maps where you can get value from the walls. And it's actually worked with pretty good, success. So who are the teams that Dallas and NYXL played this weekend? Dallas beat Gladiators in map 5, and Dallas, was this their second match they played? Yeah, this was the second match they played. And New York Excelsior played Dallas and they beat, who did they beat? They beat Houston? They reverse swept Houston? Yeah. So Hanbin is just giga pounding right now. So let's get some Hanbin pop. Oh, I actually want to watch that again. I think he just murdered Unsun Jae. Hanbin clapped cheeks. I think Hanbin right now, if I was doing a vibe check, is the best Junker Queen right now. After the first week. Obviously just first week, but has been, dude. Who said that to him? Was it Reiner or Kaluge who called Hanbin has been? They say that though, but every player I've ever talked to has a crazy amount of respect for Hanbin. Kaluge, yeah. And everyone who's ever talked to the talk shit about Hanbin, yeah, he's always come back to fucking murder them. Kellen's just getting isolated like crazy. That was well played. Oh, good boob. Yeah, Dallas is just farming NYXL right now. Chio's Lucio is disgusting, bro. With spawn camping entire GM teams on ladder. Dude, Chio is just impressed me a lot this year. His main support is sick. I've actually been very impressed with Chio. Primarily on the Lucio, but yeah. It's interesting how much focus Hanbin puts onto the opposing Junker Queen, you know? Like, it feels like he's just primarily looking at Kellen. Good beat. Yaki should be in trouble for that, yeah. Dude, Ansun J's only at 77% to a sound barrier. He has just not had a good time. Yeah, this is just not a close round to begin with. Boom. All right, Dallas, I see you. All right. Edison popping off hard. I don't think Edison, in my opinion, I don't think Edison popped off hard in this series. He had some good moments, but I don't think he's putting up like a Spire level of performances on the Sojin right now. Let's get some Cheer Pop while we talk about the man. Oh, he's dead. No, he's alive. Edison gets caught. Good dive from MYXL. What do you think of the main pick? I think it makes sense. Like, I think it makes sense on certain points and certain maps, and I think Control Center is definitely one of them, right? That was mostly a blowout. Oh yeah, that first fight was a definite blowout. I feel like Lucio plays very similar to old school GOATs, but you actually have less threats other than the Sojin on you. Good kill by Edison on the floor. That's kind of like another one of those stalemates, right? Where both teams are just sort of waiting for the other one to blink or someone to hit a shot. Okay, Edison. Hitting the shots. Heard me talking shit. How much of MYXL's success has been to Ansun J? It's hard to really quantify. Well, let me say again after this match. I feel like Ansun J played fine. Like, I think he was pretty solid. But I think it's just anything was better than having Gangnam Jin on the Lucio and then like Myeonbong on the Brig, right? Like, I think this setup is way better for New York Excelsior than anything else could have been. Dallas consistently try for boop / pulls into the slow field. I'm sure it's just something that everyone does naturally. Oh, he's got sound barrier, yeah. Like, you can see, oh wow, that was way too aggressive by Yaki. Avast. But yeah, like, I feel like this happens a lot when one team has a defensive advantage. They just bait the other team in. Like, Dallas doesn't need to do anything. They can just play reactively with their ults because they have the point already, and it's already ticking up. He probably should have got a 7th flex support. Yeah, maybe. Bees Buzz, thank you very much for the 13 months. Appreciate it. It's a Dali. Thank you for the 2 months as well. Do you know if any teams, contenders, or OWL have tried Torb as one of the DPS? With Shout plus Overload plus Lucio Amp, you end up with a Supersonic Gnome with 450 HP and a shotgun. Here's the problem with people who are recommending like things like high damage. So the Shout happens, and then he uses Overload, right? Which is nice, but Torbjorn damage can be pretty inconsistent, especially with no big targets to right click. He's just gonna be shooting left clicks, so he would be fine. But after that has happened, after the commanding shout, after the commanding shout and the overload, what stops him from just getting walked at? Or if he gets hit by a Junker Queen dagger, how does he stay alive? Right? He would just fall over. He has a really big hitbox as well, so Sojins would be able to pick him very quickly. Genjis can 1v1 Torbjorns very easily if he doesn't have those level of cooldowns. And Junker Queen, if she gets on top of Torbjorn, is gonna fucking ask him a question. I also think the turret is not really going to get any value. If anything, Genji and Sojin are going to be able to kill it very easily. Lucio would be very good at killing it as well. So it just doesn't really do anything super well. Oh, actually, we gotta watch this one. So good pushback. Oh, good positioning. Here we go. Everything's looking good. That's my goat. That's my goat, Hanbin. Let's go, Hasbeen.
What's the rush?
5
Wish you could cancel the Jungle Queen. Oh, no. Like, someone else said that recently. It's like all ults should be canceled. But it's like, no, there should be a cost for using some ultimates, right? Like, the strength of the Jungle Queen is that she gets stuck. How does Flora die? Oh, okay. So he got tapped by Edison before before Doa hits him with like one shuriken. Chio doesn't have ultimates. They don't have really ultimates to deal with this. I'm surprised Doa committed the ult. Yeah, into the Jungle Queen. They didn't really have anything going for them. So that was kind of bad by Doha there. Edison also used his overclock going into that. So I think if you get 3-man rampage like that and you do not have a defensive ultimate, at some point you just got to cut your losses and go next. Like if they had just kept both of those DPS ultimates in opposed to the rampage, they're in an advantageous spot for this next fight. But because they tried to win that fight, they're actually not in a very good spot. Wouldn't have happened to Yaki. It's a very early overclock by Flora. I guess they're just trying to stop them from touching. Oh my god, how does Ansem J... Ansem J has gotten caught a lot in this first map. Like first. Oh, you can't even really blame him for that one. Alright, so we got a brawl on the point. Oh god, another good boot by Chio. Oh, wait, what happened to Chio? Ansem J. It's like that meme of like the person following the other person. No. Chio down. Hello. 1 second, I'll get to you after this map, Flint and Steel. Cause if Harmon stays this dominant on Jungle King, would have put him in the MVP conversation again. He got benched in stage 2, but his performances now in stage 1 have been otherworldly. I agree, but I think Dallas would need to win something, and he would need to stay top tier for like a very long time. Because I think missing a stage is a big like black spot on your MVP conversation if you just didn't play in a stage, right? Like how can you justify to be the most valuable player in the league if you didn't play for one of the stages? Just a sad reality of how, at least how I mentally think about it. So NYXL get the fight win. 1 second, Flynn still had a hot take. Paying for a hot take because this might derail the stream for a bit. I was watching the Houston Glads VOD review and you mentioned the Adderall situation. Curious what your opinion is on like people with ADHD or similar who do need it or Ritalin, Concerta, or whatever. And competing, well, that's the thing. Is like I think there are definitely people that exist in the world who need Adderall or Ritalin or any of those kind of things to help them manage just every day-to-day life. And I think you can't stop them from competing. But that's sort of what I was saying, is that it's impossible to mandate because I think it's hard to determine who actually needs it and the people who are just using it to abuse it. And that's sort of the fundamental issue of why no one's ever really been able to attack it successfully.
3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
All right, third round. Okay, Dallas going all the way around, which is interesting.
Coming through.
The objective is
Breaking them down.
Edison gets another pick. NYXL looked pretty decent. Yeah, NYXL definitely put up a fight. Oh, Kellen just sitting there. That was still a good shot by Edison. Oh, Flora gets him. Yeet.
Nothing a quick repair won't fix.
All right, Dallas gets the first point. Kellen couldn't get out of the slow. Yeah, the slow was in a really good spot. So he just sort of like tried to like bunker down in the corner and Edison punished him for it. Last stage usually gets overlooked for MVP. I don't think that's true. I don't know exactly when the voting goes out, but I think it's usually after stage 4, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't exactly remember. But like, that's why Shu got so many nominations last year. Even though he had a pretty mid-season, his stage 4 was fucking crazy. So that's why I think he got a lot of votes towards the end. No Tracer anymore? No, no Tracer in this meta. I want to know whether this Edison wasn't the last stage. Well, it feels like they didn't play him on hitscan last stage. Like, he was primarily, like, he hasn't really played it. They've relied on Gurio to play that hitscan. You just miss Yaki going sicko mode? Yeah, he just got dash resets. We saw that in, we saw that on the broadcast. I remember that one. So that's pretty bad that they used the blade and they had to use beat and blade just to keep Yaki alive, and they don't win the fight. So now they get a trade of things, but Doha's gonna have a blade here. Oh, Hanbin is just deep. Fielder dies as well. Yeah, this was kind of a bad disconnect here from the Dallas Fuel. Fielder used rally there as well. Wait, when did Hanbin use his Junker Queen ult? Oh, he hit 2 people into a rally? I'm not in love with that Junker Queen ult. That's why he was so aggressive. Yeah, I think that was a mistake by Hanbin. Hot take, Dante's in contention for MVP, or at least in the running. Absolutely not.
Hello.
Why? Why is he in the running? What give me a reason why Dante has been one of the most valuable players. I don't have to defend why he isn't. You have to defend why he is. If you can give me stats, numbers, playoff performance, domination of his individual team. If you had to pick someone to be MVP now, who would it be? It would be either Proper or Kevster. Probably Proper, in my opinion. And MVP is definitely not Reiner either. Reiner is definitely not the MVP. You can make an argument for Reiner being Rookie of the Year if Proper can't get it. But I would still choose Proper over Reiner. And here's how I caught Avast. And I feel like this is how people don't think about it, right? MVP is the most valuable player of the year. So for right now, if you were a GM and you had to pick up one player right fucking now to create your team and like build around your team, you get first draft pick of the entire league. Who do you pick? And if you say Dante, how do you justify that? There is no way you think Dante has been the most valuable out of everyone that has existed. Hadn't been a problem. And that's it. Like, everyone's going to disagree and that kind of stuff. But I think that's the best way to determine of like, I would pick up Proper. Why would you not pick up Proper? Or Kevster. Like, I think those would be my two front runner options of the players that I would want on my team the most so far this year. If I could have picked one player in the league to have an... Oh, wow. That was a very important late dagger from Hanbin. Dante has insane flexibility for the Outlaws this year. Okay, here's the counterpoint to that. Does Dante, and remember, I love Dante. I respect the fuck out of Dante. I think he's a great player. What flexibility are you talking about from Dante this year? Dante played Doomfist and Junker Queen. What flexibility has he shown this year? Yeah, we know he can play DPS, but that's it's proven by his own team that he isn't better than Pelican in those heroes, or he would be playing, right? He's played DPS. He played, oh, okay, yeah. He played a tiny amount of Tracer on a couple of maps here and there. Okay, but like it's not enough to like just say, no, look at all this, right? Like, Dante's a great player, and he is very good for the Houston Outlaws, and he provides a lot to any team. But I feel like a lot of people, we're talking about, oh my god, Yaki just murdered Doha. We're talking about the most valuable player. Kellen's ultimate did not really get much value at all. Considering that they should have had an advantage there, that was quite bad by Kellen. Because that could go against him, because now Chio potentially gets a free beat. So if they don't win the fight anytime soon, they won the fight very soon. Yeah, he managed to compensate by some good aggression. And that's like the things about NYXL that like we've been talking about. Yaki has the ability to get these like individual picks, and they have been playing well as a unit. Like they actually, there's coordination, cohesion, understanding of how to play in this meta. Like it looks good. How high is Merit on your Rookie of the Year list? Pretty high, honestly, these days. But it goes back to the classic conversation of it doesn't really matter because Proper is better than Merit. Like Merit's definitely in the conversation, but Proper is just better than all of them. So it's like, what are we doing here? What are we talking about?
G'day. I was born to rule.
No longer on Molly.
5, 4, 3.
If Houston does good in a 20, it doesn't get higher than Rookie of the Year if he single-handedly dominates, right? Like, if you don't think Proper should be Rookie of the Year MVP, I dare you to go back and watch the mid-season Madness tournaments and watch the games in which Proper plays. He is, every single match that he plays in, he is the most important person in the server. He is the one who is doing the most work. He is the one who's controlling the tempo of the shock. He is doing everything. The only time he ever got contended was in the grand finals where Kevster matched him. I don't even think Kevster was better than Proper in that grand finals. He matched him. But in the match before, in the winners bracket finals, where the shock beat the Gladiators, Proper hard diffed Kevster in that match. Obviously there was a team diff there as well, but like Proper was better. No, Speedily will not be in the conversation. You cannot be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Unless Speedily comes in and just wins Atlanta Reign the title, there is no way in which Speedily wins Rookie of the Year. In my opinion. It would have to be the most ridiculous performances that just invalidates everything else we thought we knew. So latest shout by New York Excelsior. Chio gets a little isolated. That was well played. Once again, well played. Oh, Sparkle with a great assassination on the Answer J. Answer J first deaths for the New York Excelsior has been quite high. Kellen gets fielder. Is Aspire top 5 DPS? He's sure making a name for himself right now. I think Aspire's biggest problem that he's always been on pretty poo-poo teams, you know? Aspire just hasn't been on a good team in a hot minute. Or ever. But his ability to perform on low tier teams is kind of nuts. Update the score. Oh, thank you. I feel like Kai should be up there as #1 solo kills and #3 for elites and being on a mid team. Atlanta Reign is better than a mid team. Obviously, in the regular season, they're mid, but they have always performed well in the playoffs. And I think that Kai is in the conversation, but I don't think you can talk about him being MVP. He hasn't even been the most valuable hit scan player in the league, let alone that. Like, Kai's solid, right? Like, and you would take him any day, but Shy has been a better hit scan than Kai this year. Just straight up. Even Merit has, I think you could argue that potentially Merit has had better, like a better hit scan season overall. We just sort of didn't really start talking about Merit until recently. Yaki is playing well on the Genji right now. Don't tell Avast. The chance that Glads and Atlanta don't make this tournament. Glads definitely need to get their shit together. But like, I think Glads will be fine. Like, what's Glads' upcoming schedule? Like, what are their next 4 match? Let me pull it up. They play, so Gladiators play Shock, Toronto, Paris, Atlanta. So Shock is definitely a losable match for Gladiators, as you can all imagine, and I think most people are assuming Gladiators will lose that. But if they go 3-3, they'll probably be good to qualify. But they just had a hard schedule, right? Like Dallas, Houston, and San Francisco Shock as their first 3 matches. But there's chances that Gladiators just never really sort out this meta, but they weren't bad this weekend. Like, they went to 5 with Dallas and Houston, probably 2 of the top 3 teams, top 4 teams that we have in this meta that we know so far. So, Sparkle Pulls Blade, trade the beat. Hanbin, yeah, like, here's a weird ultimate usage by Hanbin. He just rampaged into a beat. Like, that's so strange. Like, why is Hanbin doing that? Like, this makes no sense to me why Hanbin did that. That was a weird beat by Chio as well. That felt like a greedy beat to try and win that fight. So just some weird and bad ultimate usage from Dallas so far on this map, especially this point. Best mechanics and worst ults. Let's get some Kellen Pop. And why Excel choke in this map? They boom after losing? Wait, we'll see. Oh, that's a good ultimate. There's no real follow-up for it, though. Ooh, Edison almost died. Oh, Hanbin. I was like, wait, how did that happen? And then Hanbin just isolated. That's the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen Hanbin just get himself isolated in the backline. Being a little too aggressive there. Can't believe Hanbin has 0 game sense, you know? Good old has-been, you know? People are gonna think I'm serious. By the way, do not think I'm serious. Hanbin is probably one of the best tanks we have in this league. I'm memeing when I say has-been. Because that's what Kaluj called him. He has absolutely not been a husband and is still one of the best tanks we have in the league. Blade into the rally. Gets Hanbin. Oh, he went in with that dash? Dude, Yaki's fucking crazy. Zoning blade there from Sparkle. It was actually not a bad blade because it sort of slowed down the tempo, allows them to come back with their players, but potentially not needed. How does Chio kill Flora? That must be just be spammed through the doorway, right? How does Flora even die there? That's so strange. Any teams confirmed playoffs yet? Like playoffs players? Like the grand finals playoffs? Like end of season playoffs? Probably. Can we get some Flora above? Alright, let's go. Grand finals? Oh yeah, teams are qualified for the end of year playoffs already, right? Like San Francisco Shock is probably guaranteed to make it the playoffs. They're just kind of playing for seeding at this point. Oh, that was not a great overclock from Flora. Some teams use the blade as bait to get ults out, and then they rampage. Do you think that's a good idea? Yeah. I think the blade is pretty hard to get crazy value from, so if you can force a defensive ultimate out of it, it's good. Playing Apex today? Yeah, I'm down. I'm after this VOD review, I'm down to play. So in like 45 minutes, I would say, average. We're not really doing much right now. Alright, good beat to counter the... Thank you very much for money. Yeah. That was a lot of ults by Dallas at the end there, right?
10 seconds.
But I guess final fight territory. It's not bad. Yeah, Flora just not really getting much value out of any of those things. Why are all of us Overwatch people going to Apex? Is because there's nothing better to play. What are we gonna play? Overwatch 1?
Round 1.
Good joke. Apex is probably like the most adjacent one out of Overwatch right now.
Ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers in.
Emong's doing it like 8 hours a day. Yeah, I know a lot of those guys have just been playing Apex the whole time. Some Overwatch. Flora gets Sparkle. Okay. I've seen a lot of teams starting to do this going down this side alley. Sparkle's just isolated over there. Hopefully it's dash still. Wait, he hit the Ash with that? That was actually such an important dagger to hit on the Ash. I don't even know if he was aiming for the Ash with that dagger. Everyone gets the greatest mental I've ever seen. Never gets tilted, always positive. No, I don't know. I'm impressed. I get impressed with how much those guys have been able to play Overwatch 1 ranked over the last couple of years. The people who play it like average like 6 hours a day for the last like 3 years, man. That's I salute you because I could not do that. Why do teams play Ash? Is it for headshot pick potential and big dynamites to farm Bob since Junk Queens are so grouped up? No, the dynamite is one of them, but it's more the long range and the dynamite. If you're able to stand really far away and just like hard scope and then just like throw dynamites, pick at people, you do way more damage than the Sojin does. I think you have way less pick potential though on the Ash instead of the Sojins. It'll be interesting to see if it stays like 50-50-ish, like what it feels like right now. Or if it eventually one will become better than the other. Any reason to play Ashe over Widow? If you play Widow, if you don't kill anyone in a team fight, you just lose the team fight because you just don't have any damage. Okay. Good hold by MYXL. Bob can also stall. Yeah, Bob's a pretty good ultimate, but Overclock's a good ultimate as well. If you can hit shots. Like, I think, you know, well, let's see what Shy does with Soja, and then we can make a determining factor. In your opinion, is the best roster of all time? Depends on the generation.
Time for the reckoning. Time for the reckoning.
Hanman's gonna go in with his. They rally. It's not bad. So they trade Rampage. Oh, Kellen gets way too aggressive. I think gets hit by a dagger. Shock 2020. I think if I was gonna say that who I think the best team in the league is, of all, who had the greatest team of all time, it was probably the 2020 Shock or the 2021 Shanghai Dragons.
I was born to rule.
Watch the scenery. I have a lot invested in it. No, not really.
Well, 2019 Shock. I think 2019 Shock is very hard to say that because it was like a one meta situation.
This ends
Like they just played
now.
Go. They played Goats a majority of the season, and we didn't really see much else other than that. So it's kind of hard to call them the best roster.
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
If you're 4 in a final, then you're that far ahead. Yeah, but I don't know. That, as I said, it was a kind of a weird season. I wasn't watching during Allen 2020. What made that period of Shock the top team for you? They had the best dive team and the best rush team / brawl team in the league. They had Smurf and Striker just fucking on Winston Tracer, and then they had Super to come in and play like Reinhardt and the Orissas and all that kind of shit. And then Arns was also like the best hit scan in the world, Head and Shoulders the best hit scan in the world during that time. They just had so many things going for them. Good beat. That was a rally and a beat by the Dallas Fuel, though. I'm not sure if I love that. They should get the punish onto Yaki, though. Oh, this actually could be really good for Dallas because they're pushing the card, and if they can clear... Yeah, they're going to close out this fight. Oh, they get Chio. Hanbin cannot die. All right. NYXL should get another fight here.
The payload is approaching its destination. Victory.
Could anyone have touched? Oh, absolutely someone could. Anson J went back for the Brig for no reason. Yeah, that was kind of on Anson J. He went back for the Brig for like no reason.
The payload is
Like, yeah, like why does Anson J go back for the Brig and then just abandon the Brig anyway? I think maybe they didn't realize how close the spawn was. Or like the golden box was. Could have popped earlier. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things they could have done. That definitely felt like a C9. They were probably in a bad spot regardless, but yeah, it's definitely still a C9. Save him out and fight. I think there's a lot of things that they thought was going to happen. Probably just bad communication from the team.
attackers incoming.
Alright, so we're going to get some Circle Rail spawn shenanigans. Edison on the wheels. Everyone always asks me about the wheels. Let's have a look at it. The problem with wheels is that it's so isolatable. I don't know why Edison just like wide peaks here. Literally, that was a wide peak like he's in Valorant. Oh, shit. Just doing a weird flex. Okay, weird flex, but okay. I respect the 100k. Fix the score, thank you. 1-1.
I was born to rule.
I think with the DPS passive, it's actually not bad to switch to a DPS that's better for that first fight because you can like retain 30% of your ult charge. So it's actually not the worst. Obviously, doing what Edison did, where he just walks out and dies on the wheels, is not good, but Thoughts on Doa versus Sparkle? I think Sparkle's a better Genji. Like, I think Doa's Genji isn't that good, but I think Doa is potentially like a smarter player and has, you know, the Mei flexibility, and I think is can offer more. But I would rather them go with just Sparkle. Honestly, I just want them to pick one. I don't want to see that much flexibility or like switching around. I don't know why Flora is standing there. Like, Flora stood here for way too long. Right, like he gets himself isolated, the rest of the team backs off. Yeah, he has his slide, but stuff like that just happens. That was a weird one from Kellen's shots a little late. Are they gonna lose the first fight for that just because of that? Maybe. Losing the brig though, a field was pretty bad. Yeah, that's first fight done, right?
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I don't like Circle Royale's second point start for attackers, dude. It is very hard to get up this hill if the defenses have the high ground advantage and a hit scan, right? My thoughts is that Dallas had Fearless, Sparkle, and Gurio play in the midseason madness while Doha, Edison, and Hanbin practice Junker Queen. That is 100% not what happened. The teams aren't on a Junker Queen patch, so how are they going to practice playing Junker Queen? And why would they just sack, or not like sack, but why would they just not use all their resources to be good in that situation? Oh, the beat was late from Chio to save Edison. Looks like they have isolated Kellen, but just too much damage from Yaki. Yeah, they just want to play Fearless because they wanted to play Monkey, and that's the composition that they liked, so. How do the teams have the newest patch? Like, actually in their, like, scrim servers and stuff like that. I believe they got it, like, after, like, a week in the break or something like that. I don't know if they still do this, but I think they potentially force teams to take a break by not giving them the patch. Because what happened in the past is that teams would just... If you gave them the patch, teams would just start practicing and start scrimming, and players would not get time off. So I think what the league has done is that they generally, after like the mid-season madness tournament, they give them like a week, and then everyone has an equal 2-week roundup, and the teams have to give their players some, you know, a break. I think they still do that, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, nice shot by Flora. I want to see this shot. No, that's what they did with hero pools, yeah. Bonk. Nice shot by Flora. I think the blade was going to be good. All right, now we got the spawn cam going. What are we doing over here? Guys, what are we...
Disrupting.
Oh, good boot by Chio. Oh, Harmon's dead though. Oh, Harmon's fine. Oh, Sparkle's in the back line. What the fuck? Wow, that was kind of unfortunate. That was really well done by Dallas to be able to punish NYXL for playing that aggressive. Looked like New York did that really well, but Dallas finding a punish. I want 40 match seasons. As someone who played in a 40 match season, I do not want 40 match seasons. That shit was awful. This ends now. Anson J gets caught again. Dude, Anson J is definitely not on the same wavelength. Edison gets Flora. Sojin diff. Imagine how fuck Junker Queen in 6v6 would have been. We were talking about it earlier. We were talking about like where would Junker Queen fit if you could still play 3v3 goats, and I think you would take out the Diva, and I think it would be Ryan, Zaya, Junker Queen, Lucio, Briggs, Zen. And I think that would be crazy strong. Anston J's on ping? I'm actually not sure about that. That's an interesting question. Is Anston J on ping?
I need a knife.
Yeah, that makes sense. That sucks. Lucio on ping can be pretty ass at times.
Going somewhere?
Can you still make 6v6 custom in Overwatch 2? Can't even play Overwatch 2 right now, so... I guess the answer is no, by association. Oh, Sparkle gets a little aggressive, gets punished there. This last point is so hard. Yeah, you really got to get a pretty decisive team fight win. Because, like, right here, right? Like, Yaki is just going to be able to come back way faster than Sparkle is. So they just, like, walk into spawn, live long enough, and then... So even though they get Flora, NYXL should win because of spawn advantage. That's a great beat, though. New York can start getting some kills. They can potentially close this out. Sparkle's back with the blade. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. Dallas just had 18 million ultimates to close out that fight. Those are important ultimates. Nice play by Dallas.
Complete.
Did Custa talk about the John Galt Reddit post about pre-justice? No, I haven't.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
Team 4 did say the Junker Queen was the first hero designed around 5v5. Yeah, I believe it. Her kit is very 5v5 orientated and like solo tank orientated compared to like some other tanks which are like, you know, if you tried to put Junker Queen in 6v6, it wouldn't have made any sense.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We saw Sojin gameplay in like 2019, like early iterations of Sojin gameplay probably. Like Sojin, like the concept of Sojin has been around for a very long time. Kaiser, thank you very much for the 61 months. Welcome to the fam again. I hope everything's going well. Get some Yaki pulp. Okay, good dashes. Oh. Dallas, get that one. I'll have a look at after cavalry after the VOD review. Oh. She was probably designed in the Overwatch 2 engine. Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that. They're like, why didn't we get these heroes here? The Overwatch 2 engine is a very different game. So a lot of these heroes would never be able to be ported over to Overwatch 1 even if they wanted to, right? Because they were designed in different engines. Oh god, Yaki getting caught there on that glass. This has not looked very good by the New York Excelsior. Feels like they're just sort of like poking and then they just lose one and then they're in a runaway state. Like this has been 2 minutes of not a whole lot.
Good to see you.
I was born to rule.
Alright, New York Excelsior. Kellen's not even close to a rampage. Dallas got 5 ultimates coming up. I really wish they would bring us plebs on Overwatch 1, the ping system. It's over. If you want anything for Overwatch 1, just wait for Overwatch 2. Overwatch 1 is dead.
This ends now.
Oh, good beat by Chio. That was a dangerous one. What just happened? Did you guys see that shit? What the fuck? The Matrix. Look at Chio's border in the top right when all this shit goes down. Look at this.
This ends.
In the top right.
This ends now.
Wait, it didn't happen again? What?
This ends now. This ends now.
Am I getting hacked? Am I in the mainframe? Gangnam Jin dies with the rally. They used both support ultimates and lost that. Why did that go so poorly?
This ends.
So what do we get? Well, let's have a look at this. This is a big fight, okay? So
This ends.
Edison pops the overclock, Yaki pops the blade. Cheer responds with the beat. Anson J beats. Why does Anson J beat here?
This ends now.
There's no reason for Anson J to beat there. I understand there's an overclock and you have fear of dying, but you can't just use that as a reason to pop your ult, because what happens is they pop the blade, they pop the beat so early that it kind of like all of a sudden they lose an ultimate. So then Flora also pops the overclock into the beat, so he's not really going to get crazy effectiveness. Gangnam Jin gets run down, uses the rally late to make sure Anson J gets value from the beat. Gangnam Jin dies with the rally, but Sparkle's blade is only good because Anson J beat it so early. So then they lose everything, and now they only have a rampage coming up, and Hanbin has his ready to go, right? And that's sort of like the little differences, right? That happen in these fights that are very hard to track and very hard to understand what happened in that. You know, so 8 ults got pressed in the span of like 8 seconds, right? But it's hard to like see that and react to it in real time and understand what went wrong. And that's why a lot of people don't like this meta, because it's the small things of Anson J press beat way too early, like 3 or 4 seconds too early before Sparkle had pulled the blade. And that was really the determining factor of why New York Excelsior lost the fight, right? Did he maybe get the idea Sparkle was going to beat? Just because you think someone's going to beat doesn't mean you should play. Someone's going to blade doesn't mean you should beat. Sorry about that. And Sparkle somehow dies for free. That was a strange one.
30 seconds remaining.
Breaking them down. Time for the reckoning.
Oh, that only... Wait, what? That only hit Hanbin?
Time for the reckoning.
It's the size of a planet. How does it not hit Fielder and Edison? It must, the hitbox must just go straight regardless of if you run into something. You know what I mean? Like, it must be predetermined where it's gonna go. Because that should definitely hit Fielder and Edison the way that they path. Shield box Rampage? Does it? That would surprise me if Shield blocked Rampage. He did block that direction, but I don't think it does. Because, yeah, like, it's active as this thing. Like, if you theoretically get hit by the thing... I don't know. That was strange. Yeah, that was a much worse round for the New York Excelsior.
Victory.
Leg day Twitter? Leg day. Wait, I don't follow leg day. What? Egoed. Our team comes after an enemy rampage. I don't know. What did he do? Awkward? I just didn't realize. I see so much leg day Twitter on my timeline. I just assumed I did, but it's just people commenting and liking and retweeting stuff like that. Oh, leg day has a post of him doing it. Today I learned you can block Rampage with shield. Oh, so here we go.
5, 4,
1 second.
3.
So, Leg Day says this. Today I learned you can block Rampage with Brig Shield. I got a good frame by frame in 144p of skewed with a perfect shield tracking on Gibraltar. That is interesting. Like, maybe it does block it. Like, that feels like you should hit it. That's like another case. If that's true, it shouldn't work like that. I don't think shield should block Rampage. You have to turn. Yeah, I think, as he said, you have to, like, track the shield, maybe. Strange one.
1.
Why not? It blocks Shatter, but Shatter is a projectile that goes across the thing. That's like saying that's like saying the shield should block the axe from Junker Queen. No, it doesn't, because it goes through the shield. Shields block like projectiles and like bullets. It doesn't block melees and stuff like that. Like, you can melee through a shield, right? It's the same way. I think there needs to be a preemptive counter. I don't know if I perfectly agree with that. But it's whatever. Let's say if Junker Queen goes through Brig, she can't block it. Yeah, tons of things exist that you can't block, right? Like, that's fine. That's not an issue. Like, you shouldn't be able to block a whole Junker Queen ultimate with, like, as only Brig. Like, the problem with Junker Queen's ultimate Rampage is, like, all the other effects around it. Not that, oh, they, you know, if it went through shields, oh, it doesn't get blocked by shields, right? Just got here. Is Libero good in this meta? Yeah. Libero has been great in this meta. Does Sparkle look better or Doha? I think Sparkle looks better on the Genji.
Your legs off. Get out.
Match score, thank you. That face with no 3-minute standoff on Colosseum. I know. What's the point of even playing? Dude, Hanbin is hard outpacing Kellen right now. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't hit. Sparker goes down. He's gonna get a quick rampage here. Doa's Genji was really good in the first game. It was fine. I think it was really good. Good late beat by Chio. That was a much better. So why does Anston J beat again? Did Sparkle blade? No. Okay. So why does Anston J beat? See, multiple teams have done this. I think the Gladiators was doing this as well. They were blading and beating, and I feel like this is just like, I don't know if I agree with it. Like, so they beated and bladed, and then Chio can just respond with only the beat. I guess Fielder did rally as well, so they rallied and beated, but like, it doesn't feel like you're getting enough value from it, and you're doubling down on something that, like, if you just blade and force out a rally, if they just bladed and forced out the rally, then that's a win. Or like blade and force out the beat. But now they use the beat and the blade, don't get anything because the other team uses, I guess they did use 2 support ults, but then you lose that sort of offense. And now Sparkle has a blade that they didn't beat blade, and now he can use it against Gangnam Jin's rally and potentially get more value.
for the reckoning.
That was a good boop onto Harbin's Rampage. That would have probably hit more people if they hadn't booped it backwards. Shio gets caught by Yaki. That's pretty bad. But that should just be the trade for the rally. They win the fight. You rally, good job. And now Sparkle should get a free blade for this next fight. Let's see what they do with it. If you notice, I always send up rally, beat and rally to counter the Yaki blade. Yeah, I feel like they use the rally very early on in fights, and then Chio always like ends up beating it as well off the blade. So then they use both, and I think it's a waste as well. It's definitely not optimal. Oh, Flora just. Oh. Sheesh. Okay, Sparkle, that was nasty. I don't know how they have so much awareness when they're blading like that.
I need a knife. Stick with the robot.
Flora gave him a dash reset. Yeah, I think he was thinking that like he might have been able to tap him. So that's they get the butt scratch for that one. Alright, I like it. Oh, Kellen's gonna be low out of that. That was a good ultimate though by Kellen. Oh.
Enemy has a robot. Not
Run, Edison, run!
breaking them down.
Alright, so that's it. Let's see what Fielder does with his rally here. Grandpa Custa telling the new meta kids not to layer support ults. Back in my days when I played Goats, and it was much more triple tank, triple support. You make sure you don't wear your sound barrier with your transcendence, because then you just lose to the Graviton Church. I understand it's different, but it's kind of the same, okay? So you gotta be really careful about that one, okay? You don't want to beat and rally at the same time. It's bad. Lads, keep it together.
Secure and ready to move.
What is this voice? That's me in 50 years. Oh, Yaki gets got. Weird beat by Anson J again, dude. I'm not in love with Anson J's beats right now. Oh, he almost fucking Ajaxed that as well. I guess it wasn't an idea to counter the Rampage, but I think they've already lost it. And they rallied. So they rallied and beat it in a disadvantageous fight. Ugh. That was pretty bad ultimate usage from New York Excelsior. Thought it was you today. What?
That enemy team is pushing forward.
Yeah, good aim, mate. So what do we got? There's no ultimates yet. So Dallas are getting more percentage. Tiny Overwatch. Oh, Yaki gets Edison. Dude, Yaki has done a good job of just like executing people. He has gotten punished for it time and time again. It looks like he's about to get punished for it here, but... Oh, that was actually nasty.
We need that robot back. Stop them pushing and do it now. I need you, Gracie. Come on back, Gracie.
Dallas gets more percentage, more space.
Breaking them down.
Dude, there's so much space being given up by New York right now. Do not fucking engage Kellen with the Rampage. Engage with the overclock, force them to do something.
This ends.
There we go.
The reckoning.
Like, so he just, like, so Kellen just rampages into a commanding shout and rally. Like, that's such a gamble. Well, it worked. They get the kill. I don't know if I love that though. It works.
Hey, good to see you. Hey.
But Hanbin now, so they actually have double support ultimate for this next fight as well. So they should have the answers to Hanbin's rampage. They want to pressure him off the high ground. Yeah, I just like, it comes to the idea of like, it's not about winning and losing fights. Like obviously they won the fight, but it's about winning and losing the fights in the most efficient manner possible, right? Forcing the most amount of ultimates while using the least amount of ultimates that you can to win as many fights as you can. And it feels like New York Excelsior has been a little loose with their ultimates so far in this match, and that sort of seems to be the major thing that's hurting them. He's gonna rampage, I think, here. Oh! So once again, Hanbin fucking rampages into a beat. Like, he did such a good job of forcing this beat out of Ansunjae. Like, I don't think Ansunjae needed to beat here. Like, this is a perfect Gangnam Jin rally moment. Like, why does Gangnam Jin not rally here? Like, this is a great time for Gangnam Jin to rally. If they rallied, Ansunjae would feel a lot more comfortable. But because Gangnam Jin hasn't rallied, Ansunjae feels the need to beat. So then they throw out the rampage, and it's not even a good rampage because they've already beaten, but then Gangnam Jin feels the need to use the rally. So they've used both support ultimates, and Ansunjae still fucking dies. So it's like, I don't know, it just feels like a little loose with their ultimates right now and not really playing to a win condition. How much for a backflip on stream? How much in medical bills would it cost if I broke my neck while doing a backflip? Exactly that much.
Enemy team is pushing forward. Hello.
A lot? Yeah, so the answer is a lot. Thank you for the 8 months though, bestie. Any more VOD reviews? We're probably gonna do one more tomorrow. You're in the US, so more than you can afford. True. Big truers. Okay, so 1 minute remaining in this fight.
Lack of use is the #1 cause of suicide. Why argue when you can push?
Just wait a little bit, Revaven, and then we can get you some cats. Oh, Kellen's isolated. Oh, Yaki, what gets Edison again? His executes on the Genji have actually been nasty this match. Alright, Harmon's gonna contest the cart. Boy, that's a lost fight for Dallas. Who do you think has the best rampages? I don't know, that's a very specific thing. It's too early to say, but right now. Pelly's executions on Genji, yeah, Pelly does it some of the best. But I'm excited to see like Zest and Alpha Yi play the Genji in the APAC region. Not Hanbin. Mag? Yeah, Mag is a good shout. Dallas doing a good job of just controlling this space. They're gonna have so many ultimates here. Flores had very little impact on the Sojin in this match, it feels like. I don't know if I just haven't been paying enough attention, but it really does not feel like we've gotten a crazy amount of value from Flora in this match. So Blade vs. Blade. Oh, good ultimate by Kellen. Like, that's the perfect time to use the rampage, right? When the fight's coming to a close. It literally just wins you a fight. If you can live that long and then rampage.
Team kill.
I think off-tanks are better Junker Queens, personally, in my opinion. I think the mechanics are just too important. Because, like, Junker Queen reminds me of Sigma a lot. Right? It's like you have the skill shot with the rock and the dagger. It's all about min-maxing your resources. With the Sigma, it's your shield and your hands. But with Junker Queen, it's your health pool and your shout. And then your ultimate is like a team fight changing ultimate, right? Like, it's like they need to have a defensive ultimate for it. If you drop it at the right time, it can just win you a fight, right? Like, so like a lot of the philosophy between the hero is the same. Obviously very different mechanics, but the point still stands. Also, the left clicks are very difficult to hit. Obviously, one's projectile and the other one's hit scan, but yeah, they're both difficult to hit. And that's it. The Dallas Fuel win 3-1 against the New York Excelsior. New York Excelsior look pretty good in this meta. I think Dallas Fuel look very good. There's definitely some things that they can iron out, but I think fundamentally the people that they have playing it look good and they have a good understanding of how to use it. New York Excelsior, if Ans and Jay can get a little bit more comfortable, they can tighten up those ultimate usage, I think they'll be very good. And I think they will be good in this meta. It's just a good look for them. As I said as well, Flora, I think, needs to be stepping up here for the New York Excelsior. Needs to have more impact in the game. I think Edison had a couple of really crucial picks, but I didn't feel like I saw that from Flora anywhere near as much. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the VOD review. Probably one more tomorrow. We'll let chat decide on it. If you guys want to check that out, come hang out in my YouTube, in my Twitch channel. Sorry, I usually do VOD reviews around like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. PST on the weeks after the weekend, on the days after the weekend. Words are hard. So like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and stuff like that. Just to sort of keep in mind, learn from the weekend, talk things out. And then obviously we start another weekend of Overwatch League. So if you want to check that out, come hang out. Give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to watch more YouTube replay, viewers, good shenanigan stuff. I'm just going to get out of here. This has just been hard. Thank you very much. I love you all. I'll see you guys next time.